All right, talking about big games versus small games. Um, a lot of times you can almost consider the Flash version of a game to be a prototype. Just throwing stuff out there and seeing what actually works and what doesn't. And if it works, it gets noticed. I can think of three games off the top of my head that started as small games and have graduated to big games. Super Meat Boy, There's No Time to Explain, and Spelunky. Now, of course, only Super Meat Boy and No Time to Explain were Flash games, but Spelunky was, you know, randomly generated procedural content and cutesy but pretty simplistic art. So it wasn't a huge game. It was huge in the fact that it was different every time you played it, but you get what I'm saying. And now they're all coming to XBLA or have already come to XBLA. Um, so this also kind of ties in with what uh, Mike Hamill said after he complained to the camera and then suddenly got three opportunities. Lucky him. Um, you never know where your next opportunity is going to come from. You just got to keep throwing the stuff out there and seeing what sticks, to use a terrible metaphor. Um, Klifsky, the creator of Kudos and Gratuitous Space Battles, said that when he was not having much luck with his games, he was suddenly contacted by a Russian company about a game that he had made way back and had forgotten all about because it maybe sold one or two copies a month. And this Russian company contacted him and said, "We help you translate this game. You let us put it on CD. It will sell many copies." Which it did. Um, and now Russian translations of his games are a major source of income for him. Um, so he says he loves working with the Russians because they pay their debts. um, oh, and Klifsky, if you're watching this, the reason I didn't buy Gratuitous Space Battles is because when the fun stuff started happening, my interaction with the game was over. I'm sorry. I know that making it so that you could actually control your ships while the battles are going on means that it effectively becomes a real-time strategy game, but that's it's just what I wanted. I didn't want to design ships and then place them and then watch them fight. I wanted to actually direct them in the fight, and I'd be willing to bet that I'm not the only person to say that. Um, so I think this idea that you put a game out there and it sinks or swims, and then it sinks, and then it does nothing for you forever and is never heard from again, I think that's wrong. Um, and I think the more stuff you can put out there, the better. That's not to say that you shouldn't, you know, devote yourself to a game if you really believe in it. Um, I don't regret making an Aria. Um, I wanted to make that game very badly. I believed in it. It hasn't met my expectations from a sales perspective, but I'm really glad to have made it. Um, and I'm hoping that my next games will do a better job of, meeting sales expectations. Um, and also, both of the ideas that I have are things that I enjoy and want to do. So it's just a process. They can't all be gems, but then they can't all be flops either. Eventually, something's gonna stick. Um, and about the iTunes store, that's one of the worst designed pieces of software I've ever used. You can't even embed a trailer. I mean, what the hell? You get a couple of paragraphs of description and 5 screenshots. And that's supposed to sell people on your game. This isn't the 80s. I mean, when I went into an electronic boutique, dating myself, I got more information about a game from the box than I do from iTunes about a game. This is stupid, and it's just Apple being stupid, and them being stupid because they can afford to be stupid. So, you know, that's my thought on that. Overall, we can't give up. Because that's when you've really lost, is when you give up. That's it for me. Night.